Hi, this is Arsalan, ISM architect. Today I want to walk you through the change process statuses and progress. What it means is that what different statuses and progress value you will see as you will work with or as you will work on the change management process. This entire new modified process is ITIL/ITUL aligned, so there is no question about whether these new statuses and progress are ITIL/ITUL aligned. We are following all the standard activities/statuses that are ITIL compliant. But what we have done in this process, in this state diagram, is that we have introduced new granularities within the ITIL/ITUL states and progress. What those granularities does for us is that it allows us to do a more thorough approve and rejection, to do a more thorough process around approve and rejection within change management. So before I'll walk you through this whole state diagram, there are two things I want you to really focus and keep in mind about. Two important things. The first is the status, the status, and the second is the progress. These are the two new concepts that ISM/ITUL/ITIL has introduced in ISM 7.1. What it simply means is that status will keep track of the statuses that your change ticket is going through, and the progress simply keeps a track of how you are progressing within those statuses. So before I'll take you into the details at a higher level, a draft is the first status of a ticket would be a draft followed by the in progress, and then complete and close. Within each of these statuses, you will see there are many a ticket actually will go through many progress that basically shows you how and where you are within the change ticket life cycle. Okay, so as soon as you open a new change ticket, your status would be draft and the progress value would be pre-assessment. Now remember that these two things, progress and statuses, are basically shown as two different fields within a change ticket. Okay, so as soon as you open a change ticket, you will see that a status field has a value draft and a progress field has a value pre-assessment. Then basically you will typically follow the routine process, which is to fill in whatever values you want to fill in for the change ticket, and then you will save the ticket. Once you will save the ticket, the next task would be to attach your relevant job plan to the change ticket, and then you will basically initiate your change. Once you will initiate your change, what it simply means is that you are now activating your job plan. At this point, what happens is that a human being or a person does not need to remember that what are the details of the change process is. What happens is that the job plans takes over and basically drives the entire process for you. So all the other different parties that are involved within a change, for example, a person who is doing the assessment, a person who is doing the approval, a person who is actually implementing the change, he or she start receiving assignments on his or her start center, and he basically will just follow those assignments and basically drives the entire process automatically. So everything is basically automated through a job plan, and you don't need to remember that after a particular task what status should I need to really move this change ticket to in order to assign this change ticket to someone else. Okay. The typical activities that the ITIL or the ITIL process basically tells us for a change process is that once you activate a change process, the first activity should be an assessment. That means the change should really go to a person who performs the assessment, and once he finishes or marks the assessment process or activity complete, then a next activity kicks off, which is approval. So what happens is that a person or approval receives an assignment, and then he approves or rejects based on his or her assessment. Once everything is approved, then an assignment goes to and a scheduler who basically do a forward schedule, or who creates a schedule for this entire change. Once he's done with this task, the next ITIL activity is to implement the change. And once the implement change is performed, once the change is performed, then the next activity according to the ITIL is to review the change, and followed by closing the change. Okay, so what happens is that as soon as you now follow my cursor, as soon as you open a ticket, the status would be draft and the progress value would be pre-assessment. At this point, you activate the job plan, which means the job plan has now taken over the change process. Okay, so the first thing would happen is that the person who is doing the assessment will receive an assessment. At this point, the status of the ticket would move to in progress. Okay, and the assignment would get sent to the person who is doing an assessment. Once he will finish the assessment and marks that activity complete, the next progress value that you will see is waiting for approval. Okay, so basically during the time when the person is doing an assessment, the progress value is waiting for approval, and the status is in progress, which means the change ticket is in progress. However, within that in progress, we are waiting for the approval. And at that point, when the assessment is done, the next status would be the next activity would be an approvals activity. So an assignment would be sent to the approver, who will basically either approves the change or rejects the change. And this is where, so basically now when we are sitting at the waiting for approval process, and the assessment is done and the assignment has been sent to the approver, I'm the approver now. Okay, and I am now basically have two options: either I do not approve, or I approve. So what happens that, let's pick this scenario that I approved. When I approve, the next progress value of the change ticket would be APPR, or approved. Notice that our status is still in progress.